Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah Nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, amma ba'd. Today is 10th of December, Tuesday. I will recite inshallah from the beginning of Surah Al-Qasas. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. تلك آيات الكتاب المبين نتلو عليك من نبأ موسى وفرعون بالحق لقوم يؤمنون. Allah is narrating to us the story of Musa and Fir'aun for the people who believe. So the narration of stories in the Quran has a purpose. It is meant to be lessons for certain type of people. So Quran is asking us to exercise this mental exercise of extracting lessons from stories. And here stories, Allah is naming the story, Musa and Fir'aun. So there are these two type of leaders. A leader that is trying to take a people from the tyranny and oppression of a bad leader. So a good leader, Musa alayhi salam, is struggling to save himself and his people from the influence of a tyrant and a dictator who is Fir'aun. And this kind of struggle is not a unique incident that happened and it ends. Rather, it's something that Allah knew happens and appears in almost all societies and all times and in all lands. So that's why Allah said, لِقَوْمِ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْحَقِّ لِقَوْمِ يُؤْمِنُونَ. And the people who believe, have iman, have faith, they are the one who will benefit from this surah because they will extract lessons from this surah. They will extract some historical patterns that appear in all similar incidents and that are repeatable throughout the history. It's not that one-off incidents that happen and it will never appear again. إن فرعون علا في الأرض وجعل أهلها شيعا يستضعف طائفة منهم يذبح أبناءهم ويستحيي نساءهم إنه كان من المفسدين. So this is what Fir'aun used to do, and this is what today's Fir'auns also do. Very, very much similarity. Similarity in the sense that Fir'aun has distributed the population into castes and sects and groups based on racial discriminations. يذبح يستضعف طائفة منهم. Okay. So this state is built upon racial segregation of people, similar to Nazism, similar to apartheid in Africa, similar to all the Western colonial powers when they went into various lands, similar to those extractive political institutions in the language of Asimoglu in Why Nations Fall. So these are all, I think, a similar thing that is appearing. Okay. He is using certain group to build his pyramids, to build his big structures. Okay, so they're using them as an extractive group just to use their labor, okay, and to benefit another group, which are the elites. So you see, this pattern is ever repeating. Innahu kana min al-mufsidin, and that is the definition of fasad on earth. So the corruption manifests itself the most is through this kind of racial segregation, inequality, you see. And it's very amazing to see that how this contemporary biggest problem of our society is the inequality, how it manifested in these ancient times, to tell you that the human complexity is the same. It's never an evolution. Since Adam and the first human settlement and the first human community until today, we are the same in terms of the complexity of our mind, complexity of the social behaviors is the same. The dictator are the same dictator. The person who calls for good and reformist are the same reformist, and the population are the same population. And that shows you the power of Quranic narration, and one can never accuse Quran, or if it was a true Torah or gospel before that, the corruption. These are words coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created the mankind and knows very well what goes into his mind. And one can never accuse Quran to be an old text that is not suitable. See this situation. It's very much suitable for us today to extract lessons, but it is for those who لِقَوْمِ يُؤْمِنُونَ, those who believe. وَنُرِيدُ أَن نَّمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَنَجْعَلَهُمْ أَئِمَّةً وَنَجْعَلَهُمُ الْوَارِثِينَ ونمكن لهم في الأرض ونري فرعون وهامان وجنودهما منهم ما كانوا يحذرون. And Allah said, and I want to bestow my favor and blessings. I want to give a gift to those who were oppressed on earth for a while, and I will eventually make them rulers of the earth and make this earth be under their influence. And I will gonna show this dictator who is Pharaoh and all his supporters, his ministers, Haman, his army, Junudahuma, whatever they were afraid of, I will fulfill that promise, that those who have been oppressed, they are the one who's gonna inherit their land, their property. And that's the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So many things is going on in these two verses, so many things. Most important is again another historical pattern is that at the end of the day, the outcomes will be for the people who are not mufsidin on the earth, who are not corrupt, who are the just, who have stayed might be few years or 100 years or whatever under some oppression, but the final outcome will be for them in their favor. أَن نَمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَنَجْعَلَهُمْ أَئِمَّةً وَنَجْعَلَهُمُ الْوَارِثِينَ. I'll make them the leaders of the earth. And so it happened. The children of Israel, they were the inheritors of the land after the Musa, and there was this famous battle with the Musa's servant Yusha ibn Nun, Joshua maybe, and how Allah helped them and made them enter that city of Jerusalem, and how Allah made from them kings afterward, until the apex of their power came at the time of Dawood alayhi salam and Sulaiman, kings David and Solomon alayhim salam, prophets and kings. You see, So this is the fulfillment of Allah's promise. But the people, يستعجلون, they very often they hasten the things. They want things very quickly. And even more vivid example of this is what happened to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on whom this ayat is revealed. And that's why saying لِقَوْمِ يُؤْمِنُونَ, for the people who believe. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's time is also a clear manifestation of this historical pattern, or Allah's universal rule in society. As we observe Allah's rule in physical life, in physics, when you raise the temperature of water to 100 degrees, it starts to boil. For another liquid, it's another degree. I don't know. Okay? So, as Allah has made precise rules in this universe that we sometimes realize through lab tests, because these are easy to realize, there are similar rules in the more bigger social context that sometimes we do not realize, and it's difficult to test them in a laboratory as we test the physical phenomena. But Quran comes to give us the hints on those bigger things. Sunnatullah. And among the Sunnatullah is this ayat, نُرِيدُ أَن نَمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. So look at those Sahaba who were under oppression, and they were a very minority, 6, 7, 8, 10 people, 12 people, and see how they were persecuted. They were slaves, Bilal, Suhaib. They were coming from different lands under torture, okay? And eventually they were the inheritors not only of the city of Mecca, they were inheritors of the two superpowers at that time, the Persian Empire and the Roman Empire. They have broken the neck of the Persian Empire. There became no existence of that empire after they have been ruling the creating fear in the hearts of the whole population, even with the Greek. Okay, so their existence vanished when the Islam came. And also the Roman Empire, they were squeezed, they were taken out of the blessed lands, which is the Levant, Palestine, Jordan, and this area, and they were pushed and squeezed to go north and other distant lands, and hence the Jerusalem was taken by the Muslims. So what I'm saying here is that this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows to those tyrants that Allah is the powerful, and whoever joins Allah's camp, they are the one who's gonna inherit the land and become the rulers, because they are not mufsideen. They do not do this kind of discrimination and apartheid and caste system and all these kind of things. They are the just. They know the rights of human beings, and they know the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this has been the introduction to the story that Allah will follow from these next verses. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى أُمِّ مُوسَى, more minor details. And that's the system of the Quran. We saw this maybe in many other cases, like in the story of Musa alayhi salam, history of Yusuf alayhi salam. There is a start with some introduction, some historical patterns, and a wrap up of the story, a summary of the story, what happens for the people who are in a rush, in a hurry. This is the gist of the story. And then at the end it starts more analysis towards the end, what was happening. So this is appeared in this surah as well, in Surah Yusuf, and there is a huge parallel between these two, of Surah Yusuf alayhi salam or the story of Yusuf alayhi salam and story of Musa alayhi salam as it appears in this surah, which is called Surah Al-Qasas. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants us the guidance and hidayah and tawfiq so that we take the lessons from this surah, from these stories of the Quran, and not just read it for the sake of entertainment or amusement, but rather to have the skill to extract the historical patterns and try to apply it on our contemporary situations and get some hints and guidance from it. Allahu a'lam wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.